Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Karina, and I'm coming to you to the Pacific Northwest. If you are new here, this YouTube channel is about, I guess, primarily the things that I'm passionate about. And those are the Pacific Northwest, where I live with my partner, our two kitties, who earlier this week told us that after 4 years together and being in the womb of the mother cat, they would prefer a divorce. So that's been a little bit stressful, and we're working on that. The other thing are the two horses that I'm going out to feed. I have two Mustangs, and I'm very passionate about animal welfare. I feel like that's a trigger phrase, so I'm reluctant to use it. But the fact of it is, I am concerned about how animals are used as commodities and not necessarily as sentient beings. Herbert is in here right now. He's helping with pick up some of the hay on the floor. Good morning, Herbert. Herbert has kind of returned to normal from his I want a divorce feeling. Harley is still standoffish, and whenever they encounter each other, they hiss and spit. So, anyway, I was talking about the things I'm passionate about. I'm also passionate about knitting. So I share a lot of my knitting projects, and I have some knitting advents that I'm going to share. I'm going to talk more about the horses later. I took Odin to a jumping clinic a week ago. Still haven't received the video for that, from that. And then I took him to a cattle cutting last Sunday, which I don't think he enjoyed as much as the jumping clinic. So I do have some video from that. I am going to point you out the door. It is 7:22 a.m. on December 13th, Friday the 13th. First thing in the morning, it's just kind of getting light. And this is the way I generally introduce the Friday or the episode. And it is still Vlogmas. This will be Vlogmas episode 3. If you're a returning viewer, I apologize for the last video. In the knitting portion, the audio cut out. I have no idea why. It happened when I was trying to show the Christmas cowl that I had just, or holiday cowl I had just knit. And then apparently it didn't come back on. I was really busy last weekend, so I didn't have time to edit. And, you know, that's kind of the tension that we feel when we're trying to put out content in a regular manner, but don't always have time to do so. So just in terms of other passions, I am also passionate about public health. That is where I have spent the majority of my adult career. I am in the environmental health section, and I work on wastewater issues. I know it's hard to see. It's easy enough for me to see walking out to the barn. Maybe you can hear the creek. Yesterday I walked out here early thinking it was light enough for me to get out to the barn without a headlamp. And as soon as I walked past the garage, the light that lights up that end of the garage turned off. It's on an automatic timer, and it turned off, and it was very dark. It is raining so far. I expect it to be raining today. So I'm probably not going to do too much with the horses, except my trainer is coming to work with Bragi. And it has been a while since we worked on trailer training with him. And I want to talk about the speed at which I'm doing this, because there was an interesting post on one of the Mustang forums on Facebook that really gave me a lot to think about. Bragi, you probably can't see him. Bragi is standing outside of Odin's stall. Odin is in his stall. So the rain, the fact that the kitties have been squabbling and making a racket in the middle of the night, and it's almost full moon, and I don't know why, but I have trouble sleeping when it is fullish moon. It's like the air is electric, and the air has definitely been electric with the cats squabbling. So I'm tired. I'm just probably gonna rest. And like I said, the last 2 weekends were pretty busy. So I'm gonna get to feeding. I'll talk to you soon. Hi everyone, welcome to the knitting portion of this episode. I had great intentions of filming opening an Advent every day this week, and I frankly have not done it. So where I left off was on day 8. This is the Polka Dot Creek Advent, Notions Advent. If you're a returning viewer, you might recall that door number 6 was empty, and I contacted Polka Dot Creek and they responded right away and said the item probably fell down in the box. So I'm just going to wait. In the meantime, we get to open 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So I am going to do that. So 9, under door number 9 is probably something I need very much, some Happy Hands lotion. And it is in grapefruit bergamot. Yum. Love that. My hands are dry. I work out in the barn a lot. I'm outside a fair amount. And this time of year, they really get dry. So much appreciated. So door number 10. Is it more fun this way to do it kind of one at a time? Oh, look at this. Isn't this cute? It's a progress keeper. Doesn't look particularly holiday, at least to me, but that could be because I'm ignorant about all the holidays that are celebrated during this time. I understand there's 14 holidays celebrated, maybe around the world during what we call the holiday season. So that those colors could refer to something. Maybe it's I honestly have no idea what it is. I could probably contact Polka Dot Creek again and they could tell me. So door number 11. All I know is that it's progress keeper and I like it. So these look like stitch stoppers. So excuse me. This looks like some sort of beverage. Aren't those cute? I love the stitch stoppers or the needle stoppers. Those are awesome. So pardon me while I drink some tea. How about number 12? That was yesterday. Ooh, another progress keeper. So this looks like a macaron. If you're French, you can probably say it properly. Nope, wrong way. But here's the layers. So that's cool. And 13. Today, number 13. This looks like it could be another lotion, or maybe it's a wool wash or something. It's kind of stuck in there. Oh, yep, it looks like wool wash. Gentle laundry soap. So I think this is a soak. No need to rinse. So I have seen these before. So fun stuff. So I kind of enjoyed this, doing it all at once. It's not super fun. And let me show you what I have been working on. If you follow me on Instagram at CMEQ Nomad, you will have seen that I finished at least the knitting part of one mitt. It's a little bit, the thumb fits really nicely. This is Freckled Whimsey, their 2024 Advent yarn. It's a little bit wide for me. I have kind of long, skinny hands. So I think if I were to knit these again, and I probably will, because I really like, you can kind of see this garland and then the kind of the nice garter detail in the finishing here. And then there's supposed to be a double knit feature here, which I will see if I get around to doing that. It's not as important to me, but it goes in the same contrast color. The contrast color I'm using is a Berroco, this kind of deep burgundy. And like I said, the main color is a self-striping advent yarn from Freckled Whimsey. So this is the skein I have been working on. It came in 2 hanks, so that was nice. And there's 24 stripe repeat. So super fun. The bag made by my mom, simple drawstring bag out of this fabric that she got in Door County, Sturgeon Bay, which is on Lake Michigan in Wisconsin. So that was a trip we did, was it last year? Must have been last year, because we didn't do one this year. There was just, if you were viewing at that time, there was just kind of a lot of drama about my being ill. I had COVID and having to change plans, and then so I don't need to relive that. Okay, and in this bag, which isn't really important, this is just a commercial bag I got at a conference a while ago. And what the important thing is, this, oops, wrong way. How about this way? This was one of the Advent things, Notions Advent, that little pin. Super cute. So this is a holiday cowl. It's a mystery knit along. The final clue came out today. I think I'm on clue 6. So here's where it started. Very holiday themed. This one, I had my colors backwards, and I'll show you what it worked out when I reversed them in the most recent section that I did. And then the red and white, and the green and pink, and this kind of gray. And then this is what it looks like. It looks better when I reversed colors 1 and 2. I think there's just a lot more. You can see the contrast a lot better. So using some of the notions, so I think this was day 1, this little candy cane progress keeper. So I'm using it as a beginning around marker, this penguin needle stopper. So super fun. I got a couple other needle stoppers that are gnomes that need to go on bigger needles, so I don't have a project that's going to work on yet. So these are needle size 4, US size 4, so 3.5 millimeters. The other mitts are 2.25 and 2.75, so 1 and 1.5, US size 1 and 1.5. And also what I'm wearing. So today seems like more of an autumnal day, so I wore, so this is what the Tellybean Knits cowls look like. That's what the mystery cowl is. This is Halloween 2023. And then this is the Udina sweater. It's a Berroco pattern made from Berroco yarn. I believe this was a worsted weight yarn. So that's what I'm wearing today. I want to talk a little bit about what I started talking about, passions, and you know, the things that I like to talk about on this channel, and the reason why I thought I would talk about this again. I've been very attracted to YouTube channels that are kind of the Nordic way of life. So there's 2 young YouTubers that I found recently. One lives in northern Finland and another one lives in northern Sweden. And it's snowy and very dark this time of year. What I appreciate about the Scandinavian way of life is just being present. I think maybe as Americans, we just have a tendency to be doing things all the time. And I have always been kind of conscious of the seasons and being with the season. there is some tension there when I feel like, well, I want to do this thing, but then we're in this season. And sometimes I have found that if I push myself too hard in winter and spring, that by the time summer comes along, when there's all the light and the energy, that I'm tired and I'm burned out. So I'm really trying hard to be more with the seasons. And I think there's a Japanese tradition on this as well. And I used to have an app on my phone that kind of helped me track the days and maybe what the framework for that day was going to be. And I don't remember what it is, unfortunately, and I don't have it. I mean, I just found that since I used that for a couple years, that really helped me have my own pace with the season. And I've mentioned a lot of times before that here in the Pacific Northwest, we don't really have the weather season so much because we have the giant Pacific Ocean that moderates our temperatures to like an average of 44 degrees. What we do have are seasons of light. And we also definitely have drought and rainy seasons. And our rainy season is typically about 9 months. So just being with that season. So I've just been thinking about, you know, how the seasons shape my passions. If you have been with me for a while, you definitely know that I'm an advocate for horses and particularly Mustangs. My 2 horses are Mustangs that I adopted from the Bureau of Land Management Wild Horse Adoption Program. I am also very passionate about bicycling. So that's like one of the things that my partner Randy and I like to do. We also like to ski occasionally. And there's a seasonality, I think, well, certainly to skiing, unless you're going to ski glaciers. And then bicycling, I've certainly found that there's a season for that. Or maybe just a break in rainy weather to get out for a bike ride. So that's one of my goals, is just to be more present and to be more with the things that I feel very passionate about. And I started to talk about animals as commodities. There was a post on Facebook in the Bureau of Land Management Mustang Owners Forum. This Mustang trainer who was getting ready for the Fort Worth Extreme Mustang Makeover, and just how they ended up dropping out of the competition because it was just the horse that they had picked out at the holding facility just was not handling the stress of training. And they could see that it was not going to benefit the horse, certainly wasn't going to benefit their training program. And in these types of events, the horses are auctioned off. And it can go to a person who maybe has means, a person who has the same skill level maybe that I do, or maybe more, or maybe less. And a horse that has been pushed through 100 days of training, but hasn't fully accepted that training and is not able to handle that pressure, it ends up being a disaster. And that was the point of this Facebook post. The training page, if you're interested, is Isidro Espinoza Horsemanship. They are based out of, I think, Southeast California or Arizona, possibly. It's always sunny and dry there. And it's interesting. I mean, I don't always agree with all of their methods, but I think first and foremost, they demonstrate that the horse comes first to them, and they were feeling really bad about what was going to happen to their particular horse. So I think they made the right choice. I was going to say that some of the trainers who know that their horses aren't ready, I think they are able to not feature them. They can go, they can attend. That's what happened when I got my Mustang, Odin. I got him from one of those 100 days makeover events. It's a very small event here in... My camera decided to stop filming Anyway, Odin had the trainers had another horse that they brought along with Odin, and they decided that that horse was not ready. So they withdrew him from the competition. He was a beautiful horse. I checked in with those trainers recently to find out what happened to him, and he is happily living out, according to them, happily living out his days as a working horse in one of the BLM, Bureau of Land Management holding facilities. So he is being ridden, and he is around a lot of horses, and probably gets a fair amount of turnout time. He's not a show horse, a pampered show horse, I will say, that may live out its existence in a stall, which to me is like, if you work and go to an office, it's like living out your existence in your cubicle, which I don't think that enriches anyone. All that to say, sometimes trainers can buy back their own horse. I think that's what Ryan Rose Horsemanship intends to do with his Mustang Marley. That horse is probably going to get a lot of attention, so who knows whether he will be able to. I think his method, at least from what I understand, puts Marley first. Some of the training methods that the Isidro Espinosa writer said, sometimes other trainers, because they make their living from this and the prize money is so grand, that they don't take in any other horses for training, and they focus all their time on the one horse. So this horse might be getting, this Mustang, who was living its best life out in the wild, was gathered and maybe held in the holding facility for a while, but still, living in pretty big pens with its friends, is now going to work every day, all day. And that's just too much. I have talked about Bragi, my younger Mustang, and what he is able to handle. He is a very sensitive horse and cannot handle very much stress, and he gets confused very easily if I ask too much. So my trainer and I have been going very slowly with him. He is 6 now. I've had him for 4 years, and I have made the mistake of overfacing him, and he doesn't understand, and then he doesn't have a thinking brain. He has a panic brain. So when I work with him, I tend to work with him every other day and in very short increments. And that seems to suit him very well. Someday he'll be a great horse, probably for me, because I understand how he works. He may not be a great horse for anyone else who does not know him as well as myself and my animal caregivers do, like my farrier, my veterinarians, and so on. My trainer friends and my other horse riding friends. Odin, on the other hand, he can handle a lot more stress. He is a thinking horse, and I can tell when he gets stressed out. Like I was saying earlier, the cattle penning or sorting event, he didn't really like it. And you'll see in the videos that I share. I mean, the first one where we're just introducing him to cows, we were in the pen with the cows, and he looked at one and he turned away. And it's like, oh, he doesn't like this. He kind of got into it, but it was just really hard to get him to understand. I mean, I felt like a lot of times I was riding him, and trying to point him at a cow to, because all the cows have numbers, and the idea is that you get your numbered cows into the other pen. And I felt like he kept asking me, I don't know what you want me to do. So I wasn't explaining it very well, and I don't think it's his thing, quite honestly. The jumping clinic, on the other hand, which I hope to have a video someday that I can share with you, at first I think he was kind of hesitant, but when I kind of let go a little bit, and by that I mean I kind of loosened my grip on the reins and let him figure it out, I think he was really proud of himself. The next day that I worked him, and I may have already talked about this, so I apologize if I'm repeating myself. The next day I worked with him, and just over poles in my round pen, and he
it was just really funny. That feeling of being proud of himself had obviously carried over, because he was like, yes, I can do this. I mean, he just really lifted his feet over them, and sometimes he jumped two at a time. I mean, they were spaced a significant distance apart. It was just really cute. So that's just something to keep in mind. And I mentioned earlier, about the cats. After 4 years of their litter mates, they were in the womb together. They have been snuggle buddies. It was just like on Tuesday, I don't know what happened. Randy was coming downstairs from this room down to the main floor, and I was in the basement working, so I was coming upstairs to the main floor, and there was just a horrific squabble. And they have not tolerated each other since. If they, we kept them separate the first night, which was really hard. Herbert decided he wanted to be downstairs, but when I shut the door, he would be by the door, meow, meow, and that just hurt my heart so much. Eventually, Randy went downstairs. There's a sofa down there. Randy went downstairs and slept with them for a couple hours, and he said it was like a snuggle fest for the first 45 minutes, where Herbert just wanted to be held. On the other hand, I was upstairs on the main floor in our room, and Harley was in bed with me and just purring and cuddle against the back of my legs. So they have been, very, they still can't stand each other. But when one of us humans goes to pet or snuggle, they immediately calm down, and they'll start to purr. We did get some type of pheromone type air diffuser thing that is supposed to work. It was recommended by a friend of mine who fosters cats, and she said that may work. So I hope so. What I would like, I mean, it would be awesome if they were snuggle buddies again. But if they're not, then I would just like them to be able to ignore each other when they're in the same room. So I think it's still very stressful for both of them. And it's been stressful for me. I work from home most of the time. The last couple days, breaking up cat fights when I'm trying to be in a Zoom meeting or something, it's just been really stressful. So I have not slept well, like I said, hoping that they can calm themselves. And, I think maybe once the full moon goes to where it's going, I'll also have that feeling of the air being electric with moon vibes. I don't even know what else to call it. I think that will pass too. So hopefully I am going to have a restful weekend. On that note, I am going to stop this video here and add the cattle sorting clinic videos, and that will be the end. Take care, and I will see you for Vlogmas week 4.
Go. Yep.
Good job, honey. This is harder than I thought you were going to get.
Really taking the pressure of our horses as we did on our feet. But there's a point if you want to stop there in the muscles, you get up into the shoulder and you're coming back and straight in. So watch them as they step forward. Your goal is to find your cow, getting out onto the rail and get in that sweet spot and hold them on the shoulder and push them to the other.
I think that'll be next. Today is just following and staying on. So if they don't want, do you understand how the whole thing is? Thanks for putting her.
We started experimenting how you can get in between the one you want and cut it off and then separate it. If you're going to 7, you want to squeeze in between 7 and 2. There you go. Awesome. That's right. Okay, now put on the other side. Cut them off. Turn them back. There you go. Now go with that shoulder a bit. Try to get it separate from 4. Get moving up. There you go.
And you can step into the gate right forward. Okay. Try and be at least halfway through the gate. Just not step right in front of it.
There you go. So you're right up on its tip, Jaden. Go back behind it. There you go.
Look at it.
Yeah, you're good. There you go.
There you go.
Stay on its tip. Get any further.
Now get out of the way, Karina.
And then she's coming in, so clear the gate, backwards spine, that does it. Okay.
Can I go and get something?
9. Okay.
So you two talk to each other and tell you which number is next, okay?
I don't see it. It must be the little one behind 0.
Yeah, I see it.
So then just kind of push them and shape them up a little bit.
So 9, then 0, 1.
Yeah.
And be careful not to push the whole cart first. Make noise. Come back and get that round. There you go. Good. And then just keep right in.
Okay, that's good night.
You got another 30 seconds. Is that time?
That's time.